Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review, episode 177. This, of course, reviewing the 177th episode of the anime, the Iron Will Sensor System. Iron Wall Sensing System. That's the name of this episode. And, based on the title, who do you think, which character series is this character focus episode on? Inojin. Yes, with guest appearances by his parents, Sai, and the beautiful Ino. And she actually looks like she's switching pants. Looks like she's wearing shorts now. And there's also guest star here now. Boruto's in the episode along with Shikidai. Yep, they're in the episode too. And they're actually more, Boruto, this has been a while since this has happened, where Boruto is a supporting character in his own series. Yep, this episode starts off basically with a very interesting opening. We have Ino in charge of the sensor system, which according to her, they basically been having this particular same style system used during the last Great War, and then used it during peacetime. And what they explain in the episode is that everybody's chakra is registered in the system. So they can kind of detect where people are in the village, and if they leave the village, they have a pretty good idea where they are. And we have this unidentified chakra, and the searching goes after him, and it's just this guy's Sai, which I thought was hilarious. The fact it was just Sai, just an operational test. And so basically, Inojin was tasked basically to work with one of the fellow clansmen on this particular operation test, while the infiltration team was simply Boruto and Shikidai. So they do the test, and he fails. He didn't do too well, though he talked to his mom a bit, and she's not mad at him for failing the test at all. She just basically wants him to get better. Okay. And then he goes to have some lunch, and his father decides to join him. And we had the first mention in the series of his awesome grandfather, Ino's father. Which, it's like, oh yeah, Grandpa who died during the war. Which, that part's true. Of course, Inojin never met his grandfather. For good reason. The guy died via explosion. He got killed at the same time as Shikamaru's father. Yep. And it was revealed that after the war, Ino was basically put together an initiative to rebuild the sensor system for the village. Which kudos for her to do. And that's why she's respecting the village, because he helped rebuild the sensor system, basically put together all the village security. So they talk how awesome he is, which that's quite nice. And then they work together again to do some like this construction site. Well, apparently work on the wall for some reason. I'm like, when the heck was the wall recently damaged? I mean, the last time I could think of in the village that's probably happened was probably, I don't think in a tuning exam attack. I think maybe this was during the Ghost Arc. If that's the case, I'm like, why the heck take so long to work on this wall? It either was that or the tuning exam arc that was last time this wall was damaged. But either that or they're probably going through some maintenance in this section of the wall. And of course, since unidentified chakra, who just happened to be Shikidai. He finds him really easily. Heck, even I can tell easily, that's Shikidai. How? It's his freaking hair. Though he does have some weird glissy chakra. Some weird chakra. And they ask about the person, and says that this particular person, they ask his coworkers, apparently he's actually not in the village. He's actually out of town attending a friend's wedding. And turns out that this guy, now, Shikidai basically theorized him because you see him beginning of the episode, first time you see him, he's actually looking through his bingo book, and he does remember, I remember this one guy who just added the bingo book, and yep, there he is, this guy with this weird looking hairstyle, where it's like very like long hair with like a pink streak, and I'm like, why the heck would anybody basically have their hair like this? And apparently he has this rare jutsu, where he can not only accomplish someone's appearance, but also their chakra as well. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. As far as I know, this has never been duplicated in the series. Well, someone duplicates someone's chakra when they do a transformation, which, that's new. That could explain why, Shikidai mentions, this is a rare jutsu. A jutsu that's never been brought up in the series before. A copy jutsu. Okay. Oh yeah, and they find the guy really easily, like doing like first he uses a couple times he uses Super Green Scope. First he uses his transform to a tiger. Of course he missed, though this time he uses birds. Interesting. He uses chalk with them. Though it doesn't target some of his birds. So basically expand the circus birds basically very good use basically to expand the search area, which kudos for him doing that. So basically kind of combines two different techniques to help search for the guy. And they find him. And what is he doing? He's robbing a store. And well, they kind of trip him over him, and he gets defeated really easily. And his mother there, of course, he gets he gets beaten by basically dropping a giant fish on him. I'm like, what? Okay. And then of course, well, the guy captured. And of course, well, they had their search teams looking for him. And of course, Ino does basically congratulate Inogen for doing a great job with this. That later on she does like, okay, we're gonna put some system tech imposters. So okay, so this is good experience for them. It's only just one guy, but what if there was other people who had this particular jutsu? That could be a security concern. Which kudos to the fact that they would do that. Which I'm like, did the writer just copy something from Stargate SG-1? Yes, Stargate SG-1 had a thing for doing this in a series where if some security breach happens, they later at the end of the episode develop a new security procedure to deal with that. Like, for example, there was this particular gun they used to basically detect people who were invisible, or these particular devices see like the special scanner thinks someone was real, if they had these special devices that camouflage out the real people. So it's almost kind of like that. When I was thinking about like, oh, they just copied Stargate SG-1 with that thing like I just said. Like, develop a security procedure because of what happened. Okay, perfectly fine. As far as I can tell, the Naruto series has never really done this before. But it's okay. It's perfectly fine. I mean, it's been many years since Stargate SG-1's ended. I mean, I think it ended, what was it, like 2008, I think it was? Because when I watched it, I watched the final season of the show. I think it ended like almost 10 years ago, like over 10 years ago, so it's probably okay to rip off something from Stargate SG-1 because it's not currently on the air anymore, and there hasn't been a show aired since Stargate Universe. So, perfectly fine. I have no really big issue with it, but it seems quite strange, though, they rip off Stargate SG-1 with its ending, but it's fine. And, well, that's the episode for you. Next week's episode is going to be quite interesting because we have the first appearance of Io. The former bodyguard of Masakage is going to show up next week, and this episode could be the prelude to the Vessel arc. Yes, the arc that was teased. They announced this like a month ago, like, oh, we're going to adapt this arc for the anime. Oh, and this I thought was really cool. In the opening visuals, Kawanaki is no longer in silhouette. This is the first episode we see him not in the silhouette. Because any viewer can tell that's Kawanaki. And we finally get a chance to see him in full animation. That was the opening title sequence. And kudos for the anime finally showing off what the guy looks like. Also, they showed off like all the members of Kara. Why? Because, well, we're going to get to the arc that shows off some of the characters. Kudos. And good job with the episode. The visuals look fantastic. I like the fact they kind of updated them basically by dropped the silhouette. Which, great job on their part. Yep, and that's pretty much it like I talk about for this episode. Pretty good episode. It's an okay episode per se. Went by really too quickly, but next week's episode is going to be pretty interesting because it's going to be it's called Father's Backs, and it's basically dealing with Memorial Day, possibly dealing with what happened during the last Great War, which I like the fact they're doing this. This is actually a pretty good idea to do. Basically have a day where they give a tribute to people who died during the last Great War. I mean, they do this in real life, so why not? So, I'm looking forward to how they do in next week's episode. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. I possibly may have one more video to do today, though I might not get to it today due to if I can't get this video up in time. Next video I'm going to do is Trinity 7. Now, I might not get a chance to do it today. I probably won't get a chance to do it until maybe tomorrow at this rate. Yeah, I think it might be safe just to do it tomorrow, along with basically doing a couple Trinity 7 videos, along with basically get this. Now, I know this show just released its first episode today for its final season. Attack on Titan released its first episode today, and I kind of figured, though, it would not be a good idea for me to watch it today because I basically was kind of basically like overstepped with basically anime today, watching 4 anime today. So watching a fifth basically might basically overwhelm for me. So I'm going to save that for tomorrow. Yes, I'm going to save it for tomorrow. Along with basically talking about Trinity 7, presumably doing about 2 videos for Trinity 7. Yep. And, well, that's pretty much it. So, until I see you tomorrow for possibly not 1 but 2 Trinity 7 videos, and my first video discussing the opening episode of the newest season of Attack on Titan. Though it's the final season of the show, and presumably we might have the final chapter get released next month. Either next month or probably January. Yeah, so until this next video, bye.